I am back. I am back with part of a family legacy or a recipient of this legacy. Someone who grew up here in Highland Park and went to Highland Park High School and is internationally known, Miss Gayelyn McKinney, drummer extraordinaire.
Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for coming because you only had 3 hours sleep. She
Yeah.
uh, she played last night.
Yeah, I play at Burt's on Thursdays. So last night I was there and it was jam packed. James Carter came
Oh,
through.
James Carter came. I should have
Yeah.
been down there, but a lot of people were watching the game, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we had a good time. It actually was a good night. A lot of people were out, hanging out, hearing some jazz and jamming with us because it's a jam session too. So
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
I got to get down there. I just do. I just do.
Yeah.
Gaylen, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about you, your beginnings, and so forth?
Well, first of all, yes, I am Highland Parker for life, HP for
HP.
life.
HP.
And I grew up, we moved here when I was about 5 with my father and my mother, who were both musicians.
Your father
Was
was
Harold McKinney.
Harold McKinney.
Yes. My mother was Gwendolyn Shepherd McKinney. And I grew up with music in my house every day. One of the people that I met at a very early age was Marcus Belgrave, who just recently left us. He was like a second dad to me. I've known him since I was at least 7, and he came to the house. He came over to the house every day almost to rehearse with my father, and boy, there would be days, in the basement where thunderous arguments would ensue about the music. That's how passionate they were. And then I would tell my mom, "My mama, is everything? Are they gonna kill each other down there?"
Oh no.
She's like, "Oh no, no, honey, just it's okay. They're just talking about the music." And then about 5 minutes later, this beautiful music would rise up out of the
I
basement.
know because I've gone. I used to go and hear your father because he played piano,
Yes.
and he was just wonderful. And he played on Motown also, didn't
Yeah, he did a few things with them, with Motown, and he also toured with Gene Krupa. And
he?
during his younger years, he sat in with Billie Holiday. Yeah,
Billie Holiday.
yeah, he did. He did.
Good morning, heartache. You old gloomy sight.
Go on, sing it, girl.
Good morning, heartache. Since we said goodbye last night. But
Hmm.
anyway, I told you my throat.
Yes.
Uh, so, how did you get interested in the drums?
That's a really good question. Well, if you would ask my mother when she was here, she said I started in the stomach. She said I was very busy, very very busy, and my father tells me a story one day of him sleeping, and how couple spoon, and he said he kept feeling his tapping in his back, so he turned over and said, "Gwen, what's going on? Gwen, what do you need?" And she said, "That's not me, that's the baby," which was me. So apparently it was something that I was born to do, and I started at 2, beating on the table. And my mother bought me a drum set to get me off the furniture. Said, "Here, honey, beat on these."
So, you never tried to play the piano, or do you play the
Well,
piano?
actually, yeah. I mean, I play not well enough to do a gig, no, but I do play well enough to compose music and write music with the piano, and also play alto saxophone because I played saxophone from 6th grade to 12th grade.
You were in the band
Yeah.
at the high school.
Yes.
What did you play? The sax?
The
Or?
saxophone. Now, when I got to high school, I ended up doing double duty because he also wanted me to. Mr. Booker wanted me to play drums too. Yeah.
David Booker.
Yeah.
Yes, wanted you to play drums also.
Uh-huh.
So after high school, what did you do?
After high school, I ventured off to Oakland University, and
Oh, before I finish that, let's just quickly talk about the band in Highland Park.
oh yeah,
Yes.
we had we had a award-winning high school marching band and concert band. We took home #1 medals often. And I was so sorry. First of all, I'm sorry on so many levels to see the band disappear, and now the school is gone. My heart is pretty broken about that. But at one time, we had a great curriculum and a great band, and was a really great A school.
Grade A school, and
Yeah.
I didn't go there. I just taught there, but I was so much a part of the
Yes,
school.
you were.
And I mean, I loved it. And as I tell people, I remember one day walking out the door of the new high school. I was running to get something to bring it back to school for some activity, and I said, "God, I don't believe I get paid for this." I just loved it, and the community of Highland Park itself,
Yes.
just a great
It was a
community.
great community. Yeah, it really was. You know, it was a family because you know we were this little city inside Detroit. You know, and we had our own our own hookup, our own city hall and police, and we were just our own little community. And it was really a close knit community. You know, everybody looked out for everybody. So, you know, maybe one day it'll get back. You know.
I hope so because it breaks our hearts to see that there's going to be no more high
Oh
school.
my gosh, that hurt me to the core when I found out that they were closing, and the building. What are they? Do you know what they're doing with the building?
No, not yet, but did you see the gym floor?
No.
The gym floor is warped, all like that, all
Oh.
like that. Darnell McLaurin, who'll be here in a few, he graduated in 85, I think.
Mhm.
He's going to be on my second show. He put some pictures on Facebook how the floor was just warped.
Oh,
It
jeez.
just broke our hearts because that gym was a beautiful gym.
The whole school was
A
gorgeous.
beautiful
Yeah.
school. Because at first they said it doesn't have any windows, but hey, we made it work.
We might have been blind when we came outside after school, but
We made it work, but we had that beautiful plant
oh, it
area.
was
I
gorgeous.
mean, it
It
was
was
just
absolutely wonderful.
absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
And Gaylen, you went on to Oakland
Went on to
University.
Oakland University, got my bachelor in music degree, and then right after I got done finishing up college, Straight Ahead came into the picture.
Straight ahead. Let's before we go to straight ahead, I have a clipping of Gaylen, just a little 1 minute clipping. If we could have that, so you could get a gist of what she's doing. She does. Bravo!
Thank you.
We have, before we go into straight ahead, we have Lady T on the line. Good
Oh,
morning,
hi,
Theo.
Lady T.
Hey, happy Friday to you. I
Thank you.
just called in to testify. Best drummer on the planet. I have her
Oh,
CD and everything. I play it for people when they come to my home.
oh, thank you, Lady T.
Hmm
And you know what? Just so you know, the listeners and the watchers that are watching the show, Lady T is a wonderful
Oh,
vocalist.
she can jam, and I know I try to sing, but this lady can sing, and it's
Yeah,
so effortless.
effortless. We just played together last night. She sits in, she comes down to Bert's and sings with us, and I'm always glad to see her.
Oh wow, you hear that? Are
Oh,
you,
yeah.
are you gonna sing at the birthday celebration, Lady
Well,
T?
I don't know. I'm co-hosting at the birthday celebration, so I don't know if I'll have time for that with all of the performers that are going to be there. But I certainly am looking forward to it, and I'm hoping that Gaylen will be able to come by as well. But I wanted to say that her family, I mean, what are there? 600 people who are musicians in your family? I
It
went to
sometimes
the
feels that way.
Getty Ballroom on Woodward Avenue, and it was for quite a number of months up until her father, Harold McKinney, died, and we were devastated when that happened. But he, like Galen, have so much patience, and they are concerned, and She even teaches drums, and I got an opportunity to hear a young man that she had taught as well. It came down to birth. But she's such a wonderful addition to the jazz band there, and it's it's a relaxing time. That's one of the reasons I go down there. I think they've been there about what Gayelyn 14, 15 years,
Yeah, the jam
and
session
I've been there
itself's been there
1 year
14
less
years.
than they've been there.
Yeah.
I need to start hanging at that jam session.
Yeah,
Oh
you have a
yeah.
good time.
I can rap. You know, I can do my poetry.
And we play
Oh,
some
well,
nice stuff
you come
behind you,
on
girl.
down and you
Oh
do your
yeah,
poetry to music.
yeah.
That's all. That would be fantastic.
I think I'm gonna do that. In fact, the first time I ever did some poetry at Bomax years ago, Marcus backed me up, and
Oh,
Oh,
then I
okay.
did poetry. Teddy Harris backed me up.
Well,
yes.
You know,
see,
these
so
my
you will get the same and better service down at Bert.
well. Thank you so much for calling, Theo.
You're welcome. Peace.
Okay, okay, bye bye.
Bye.
And so, straight ahead. Explain to the audience if they don't know about straight ahead, what straight ahead is.
Well, straight ahead is a group of women. Well, now we have a nice man in the band.
You do
Yes,
who?
we do. His name Yancey.
Oh, Yancey's in
Yeah,
there with you.
Yancey's in the band now.
Oh.
But we started with Mickey Braden, who put the band together, and it's amazing how that came about. She had been trying to get some guys to work with her at Bert's Place. She had acquired a gig at Bert's Place on Monday night, which is not a great night for playing at a club. But she had gotten this night, and she couldn't get anybody to do it because they were all busy. So she called Marion, Alina Moore, and me, and said, "Hey, would you be interested in doing a gig at Bert's Place on Monday nights?" And I was like, "Ooh, yeah! I've always wanted to play with Marion, and
Yeah.
I've always wanted to play with Eileen. That should be fun." And so we started that night at Bert's, and when we first started, you could blow through the through the crowd. It was like one or two people on a Monday night.
Yeah.
But by the end of, like, say, the second month, I guess word got out about this all-female band that was playing down there, and we had a line going outside the door for the rest of the
Really?
time we were at Bert's. Yeah,
Really?
when it was on, that was when it was on Jefferson.
I even did some poetry with you all at Lola's or
Yes,
something.
you
I,
did.
I got to get back out there and do that. I enjoy it so much. I
Yes,
enjoy it so much.
yes.
So Straight Ahead traveled a lot too.
Yeah, well, after a while, we ended up, Regina Carter was living in Germany, and then she came and joined the band. And soon after that, we got signed to Atlantic Records. And when we got signed to Atlantic Records, we did 3 CDs, and that's when we really started going all over the place.
So what was one of the most interesting venues you've played in?
Oh man, I would have to say the Montreux, Switzerland festival. First of all, that whole experience was amazing because, well, that was before we got signed. Actually, we ended up doing an exchange program, and we were slated to play at some small club at the festival in Switzerland, and somebody heard us rehearsing in the hotel. We still don't know who this person was, but they heard us rehearsing in the hotel, and they decided to put us on the main stage, opening up for Nina Simone.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No, you
You
talk.
are kidding me.
Oh boy, we were like, ah.
You are kidding me. For Nina?
For Nina Simone, I had a chance to meet her then, and so here we are, this unknown group, getting ready to open up, and the other person was Oprah Hauser. And here we are, this unknown group. We're getting ready to open up for Nina Simone, and it's like we were very nervous, but we gave it our all. And when we got done, the crowd that was looking at us like, "Who are these people?" gave us a standing ovation. Well, they were already standing, so the way they gave us standing ovation is they stomp and clap, and they did that for about 10 minutes. Claude Knobs, who is now passed, who was the director of the festival, he could not get a word in because he was trying to tell them that we were going to be at this other place, and he couldn't hardly get that in because they were clapping so hard and loud. But that was probably one of the greatest experience, and of course after that, getting to meet Nina Simone, that was,
Oh, that was priceless.
I did not have a camera phone. There was no camera phones
I
back then.
know. You really think when you look back and you say, God, if I had a camera phone, I could
Oh
have done
man,
this or that.
yes.
And do you find that audiences overseas really enjoy jazz as much as or more?
More. I unfortunately, it's kind of sad how underappreciated jazz is, especially since it's some music that was born from us. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It was created by us and African Americans, and so it was, the blending of European and African cultures coming together, and you know, we developed it and nurtured it, and unfortunately, it's not appreciated at all in
At
this
all, you're
country.
saying at all?
Well, for example, you can't hardly hear it on the radio.
Oh, that's for sure.
I mean, thank God
And
for 90.9.
but it's funny. You still see people wearing JZZ T-shirts
Oh, I
and
know.
everything. You would think that that could come back.
Yeah, it's really it's I don't know what happened and why jazz has, always people always tried to sweep it under the carpet, but one thing I love about jazz is that it's resilient, and no matter what happens, there's always a group of young people that latch on to it and continue it on. So
I
we have
know.
a whole group of them that Marcus has mentored. I'm mentoring some, and Marcus, he managed to mentor, and my father mentored my generation, the generation under me, and the generation under.
Absolutely. I
you
think
know.
about a good friend of ours, Al McKenzie.
Yeah, and Al,
Oh, Al
yes,
has in a
yes.
chord. I've worked with.
Deblon Jackson,
Oh,
yeah,
Deblon, another
yeah,
Highland Parker,
yeah,
another Highland Parker.
yeah,
I mean, we're trying to. I mean, not me per se, but I would say the collective we.
yeah,
We're just trying to keep it in the forefront. It's part of our legacy.
yes, yes.
And what about Marcus's son? Tell the audience how. Oh,
Oh, Kassan is,
Casanas.
I hope he's still planning on pursuing music. He just oughta, because he is a phenomenal player. I watched him just grow up, and he every time I saw him, he was better and better and better and better. So,
And professional.
yeah, he's very professional. So I'm pretty sure he's going to continue that legacy, and at least I'm hoping he will. He's young right now, so I don't know which direction he's going in, because he loves
He
basketball
loves
too.
basketball. I was going to say he loves basketball.
Yeah, so we'll see as he develops and gets older. I'm gonna keep in touch and keep up with him.
But I think about the fact that James Carter came up out of here.
I remember watching him. He was 13, 14. Every time I saw him, he had that sax on his back. He went everywhere with that sax. So, it doesn't surprise me that he became such a success story.
So, every Thursday night,
Every Thursday nights at Bert's place, and
is this which room?
it's
God.
in the jazz room, not the Motown room. Excuse me, and not the warehouse. It's in the jazz room. They call it the jazz room.
Now, if I walk in the door, there's room to the left.
Yes, that's the one.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's the one. Yes. Oh, and back to your original question about Europe, they do appreciate it more, and they do treat it with a great deal of respect, and hopefully, that'll happen more here too.
What do you think can be done to like promote that or let people know? I think some people just don't understand jazz. They think they have to understand it
Yeah,
instead of just
and just instead of
listening
just listening. Yeah,
listening to it for the beauty of it all.
yeah. It's a very artful, it's artistic music, and you have to really learn to appreciate the artistry of it. And a lot of people, excuse me, don't seem to have the patience to enjoy the artistry of it.
Right.
They tend to gravitate more towards the simpler side of jazz or music in general. But like I said, there's as long as there's young people that keep coming.
Yeah, because Ralph works with kids at
Yes.
Tech. I'm talking about Ralph Armstrong. And okay, a couple more questions before we wrap this up.
I met Martin Luther King, by the way.
I was getting ready to ask, who are some of the people that you've met that you're so proud, so happy to have been around?
Oh shoot.
You said Martin Luther King.
Oh no, I'm doing an artist in residency at Martin Luther
Oh,
King
I
High
thought
School.
you said you met him. I
Ooh, I
said,
wish.
golly.
I
I said,
wish I would have met
dang.
him. No, no. I'm doing the artist in residency at Martin Luther King High School as well. Thanks to Miss Gretchen Villade, who was funding it, and the Cast Tech is helping them with that too.
Right.
But some of the people, let me see, who is the one of the most wonderful person I've met. I've met many wonderful people, but I think one of my favorite people I met it was Queen Latifah,
Oh,
and Quincy Jones, and this was all in one place. We had a gig in California, and all these we had no idea. We thought we just we're gonna play a gig. We walked in that room. It was Quincy Jones in there, Tevin Campbell, Queen Latifah, Don King, Ed Bradley.
oh my gosh,
We were like,
wonderful.
oh my lord! So we got to meet a lot of people that night, and so that would probably be one of my
And
favorites.
one last question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, continuing on the path I'm going, which is, you know, just promoting jazz and continuing on the legacy of my father's music, and keeping his music in the spotlight, as well as my own music as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
So,
and continuing to mentor young people.
absolutely.
Yeah,
That's a given.
yes,
That's a given. Well, Black Music Month. Let's go check out Gayelyn next Thursday night at Bird's Place, and you're going to be going to Cincinnati. You said.
yes. That's in July. We're going to be traveling to do a festival there in
Are you
Cincinnati.
doing any festivals during jazz? Well, we have the Jazz Festival.
Yeah, not this year. I'm not part of it this year, but
They're
uh,
dedicating it to Marcus.
oh really?
Yeah, they're dedicating the Jazz Festival to Marcus.
Oh,
So
that's
they may
great.
put
They
something
might, yeah,
together.
they might end
Yeah.
up calling me for something.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Gaylen McKinney, you saw her here. Wonderful. And once again, we lost our friend
Yes,
Orthea. We've
yes,
lost Marcus, but we'll keep their memories alive.
yes. Matter of fact, the last time I was here in this studio was with Orthea. Yeah,
Absolutely. God rest her soul.
yes.
Okay, we'll be back in just a minute with Godwin, and we're going to talk food and professionalism.